Yo guys, what is going on? Blossom is back and welcome back to another episode of Top Drives. Yes, I am back. I had a 2-day break. It was actually like a 3-day break, but I had one video recorded in advance. I would have done more if I had more time, but I am back. I was on holiday with my best bro. We went to Thailand. He's still here actually. Bennett, you want to say hi?
Hi.
What the f? Anyway, there is a final going on, and it worked out perfectly in the end because I will be ready and prepared for the finals. But of course, I need to review the pack that you need to open in order to get this GT500 that I reviewed a couple days ago. So, as you guys know how it works over here, I'm going to be, giving you two different tier lists. The first one is going to be all the cars based in a general sense. So, if you let's say that you have no chance in opening the Nissan, or you already have the best hand for the Nissan, and you just want to open more packs to see if this is a great hand or not, great pack or not. So I'm going to be ranking the cars in a general sense to see how good these cars are outside of the final, and then I'll be showing another tier maker. You guys know how it works, where I show you how good the cars will be in just the finals with the track sets. But of course, we need to know the track sets before we know how good the cars are. So I'm going to show it to you right here on the Discord. Track set number 1, Twisty Circuit, Test Bowl, Karting Circuit, Car Park, and the Quarter Mile. So 2 drags, 1 in the wet. One thing that I can say is that every single track set is going to have 1 wet. So the 4-wheel drive will be quite useful because there are no standard tires on the table. Second track set, 0 to 100 is 0, Hairpin Road, G-Force, Fast Circuit in the wet. And the most useless track set of them all, the City Street Small. Why the hell is that there? It is so damn annoying. You are an absolute Chad if you just run 5 lows. And I think most players are running 5 lows. If you are that one guy that is running the Audi, I'm not gonna say shame on you, because obviously that's the best you can run, but you'll be the most annoying player there when it's this one track set of the 4 track sets and everyone else in the top 10 is running 5 lows. But the majority is running 5 lows, to be fair, because the thing is, right, yes, your Audi is going to be the best car here, but is it worth losing the other 3 races? No, it isn't. Okay, next one, Mountain Slalom, G-Force 3130, Monaco G-Force, and a wet Monaco Streets. And the last one, once again, our wet track is a car park. We're gonna have 75 to 125, G-Force Slalom, and 0 to 150 to 0. So one interesting thing is that 2 out of the 4 tracks, which is 50%, has 2 drags. So you're gonna need some drag set cars. But before we get into the best possible hand you can make for the final, let's judge the pack in a general sense. So we have Dirk Kaiser, Daily Driver, Freaker Provider, Pernicious Ulcer, and Meta Outsider. And we're going to start off with the AC Cobra MK3427. It's a Pernicious Ulcer, to be completely honest. It's got, good weight. It's not very heavy. It's got a low 0 to 60, and it handles quite well. The only problem with the AC Cobra is that it's a jack of all trades kind of car, master of nothing, and the MRA isn't very strong as well. The best places to put this car on would be maybe like a Monaco City Streets Long, Fast Circuit, Hairpin. Those are the biggest chances where it's going to win, but it may not guarantee you a win. So because of that, I'm going to put it under Pernicious Ulcer. The real thing that this thing brings to the table, I would say, is that 1960s niche. And then let's just get the Audis out of the way, okay? I mean, honestly, I want to put them all in Meta Outsider, but you can't do that because much like the Subarus, they have 4-wheel drive and they have medium ground clearance. There is some substance there, but it isn't a lot. So I'm going to put all of them in Pernicious Ulcer. At the end of the day, if you do not handle, I do not care about you. Then the no-nos is Meta Outsider. This thing is garbage. It has 55 MRA. It brings nothing to the table aside from like one small caveat, which is it has, a lower 0 to 60 compared to other cars in his niche. Who the hell cares, bro? You're 55 MRA. You're gonna get off the line quicker, and then you're gonna lose the race. If the race was a 0 to 100 meter sprint, then yeah, maybe it'd be alright off the line, but besides that, it's trash. Okay, Di Tommaso Bangusta is next. This one's not too bad. The 0 to 60 is weak, but the handling is a little better, and the MRI is at 72. At the end of the day, it's still not the best car in the world, it's gonna go to about 4291 or something like that. I do have it max. I'll give it Pernicious Ulcer at best. And then the next 2 are the load side. The load sides, ooh, this one's interesting because they're not bad cars. They handle quite well, and they're very light. I mean, the 55 RQ is 860 kilograms. kilograms, and the orange one is 903 kilograms. Both of them have their MRAs in the 60s, but they have, you know, decent 0 to 60s, and really good handlings as well. Personally, I would say that they both operate in their own niche. I'm gonna give them daily driver. They are decent. And then with the Mercedes-Benz SL55 AMG, this is a car that I've talked really highly about in the last carbon fiber pack with the last final for the Peugeot T16. It's a good car. I mean, you know, it's a drag spec car right out, you know, 83 MRA, which is strong. For its RQ, it's pretty good, I would say, especially in the World Expo niche. It's basically just behind the Porsche Cayman. But when you put it in a general sense, then you kind of have to put it alongside like cars like the Charger 3, which is just infinitely better. Frequent provider, you go. You definitely have your moments, but it isn't all the time. All right, Porsche 911 Carrera at 3.6. Now, this car is pretty interesting because it is kind of like what you expect from a lower RQ car. It has a decent handling number. It has a decent 0 to 60 number. Top speed is also over 155. It is, what year is this car from, actually? I can't really see. It's really small. It's a 90s car, and it is 73 MRA. So, honestly, I think that it's very much like the De Tomaso Mangusta. It has some particular standout stats. It might save you RQ in some random places, but it isn't going to win you really anything at all. So both of them are going to go under pernicious ulcer. Then with the Zenith E10, I mean, that's without question Der Kaiser. That thing is ridiculous. It's an epic killer. And let's be honest, the only reason why it isn't an epic is because it has 135 for a top speed. And to be fair, I don't think it should be epic. 64 perhaps, but I don't think it should be epic. You can make an argument of maybe 65, but really when it becomes a 65 RQ car, it isn't that strong anymore. What makes it so powerful is the fact that it's so easy to upgrade. So the Zenith E110 I think is in a decent place, to be fair, mainly because it's better than the Lotus 340R, and the Lotus 340R is lower in RQ. Then we need to talk about the epics. I'm gonna be completely honest, man. These AC Cobras, I don't think they'll ever have a time to shine. They're kind of useless. The worst thing about the AC Cobras is that they aren't even cars in the 60s, you know. I mean, this one is, and because of that, I'll put it in frequent provider, but this one is from the 2000s, and it's like one of the worst World Expo epics out there. Honestly, the AC Cobra 212, it's got a cool name because 212 is a division from, you know, Star Wars, and I love Star Wars, but outside of that, it doesn't really have anything that brings to the game. So meta outsider, you go. Lotus Elise 220 as well. It's a lightweight car and it handles very well, but the thing is, you know, it kind of operates in this niche where it's very, very, very competitive nowadays. So for 67 RQ, I think it's a pretty okay car. I'll give it frequent provider. Nothing more than that, even though it seems like it should be more than that. Then the Maybach Vision 6 Cabriolet. This is an interesting one because I've had a lot of people ask me, oh, how the hell am I going to upgrade this? The thing is, at the end of the day, this is a car that you want to drag spec because 77 handling is jack shit. 88 MRA is really good though. 0 to 60 is strong, but no top speed. Very heavy as well, so don't use it on the corners. 4-wheel drive. The strongest thing for the Vision 6 is kind of like, it's going to operate where the Maybach Landaulet used to be, and now obviously it's an ultra rare, where it's really good off the line and on the longer stuff. So not really 1 mile because it doesn't have the top speed. I would say that it operates best on a quarter mile, half mile, especially in the wet. Outside of that niche, maybe fast circuit, it would be all right if you go 699, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's just pernicious ulcer at best. So for those of you asking me, because a lot of people surprisingly have been asking me how to upgrade the Vision 6, my answer would be 996. Don't rush yourself to it. You don't really need it. Mercedes AMG GT Roadster. This is a strong one. 96 MRA, 3.90 to 60, and a good top speed. Daily driver for sure. You know, it's a great dragster. I would say that it is just a slightly worse version of the Bristol, which is Blossom Choice. So putting it in daily driver, calling it a slightly worse Bristol, really isn't no, like, you know, insult. Moving on, Mercedes AMG S63 Cabriolet, 4-wheel drive, trash control, ABS, 78 MRA, incredibly heavy car, and it doesn't handle very much. I'm sorry, man, like, it doesn't even bring medium ground clearance to the table. You're gonna meta outsider. Porsche 718 Boxster. Now this car, it turned out to be a big disappointment to a lot of players, mainly because it lost to the Zenith in like half of the track sets, and this is a 72 RQ car compared to a 63. 718 Boxster, I mean, yeah, it loses to the Zenith in a lot of places. That is true. You can check top drives records for that, but at the same time, would you really consider them to be in the same niche? It's a little heavier, MRI is a little stronger, you know, and the 0 to 60 is a bit lower, and the top speed is a lot higher. It's a bit of a hybrid car. At best, it's a frequent provider, mainly because 97 handling isn't any joke, and 72 is a mid RQ range epic anyway. I would say that it's very much a 72 RQ car. Not great, not bad. Alright, next one, 911 Carrera 4 Cabriolet. Pretty strong car, still loses to the Polestar though. Really disappointing MRI on the 911 with only 69, but the handling is very strong, and I do appreciate that for a four-wheel drive car. So yeah, it lives up to a decent amount of hype. I'll put it in daily driver, but not higher than that, mainly because it's just a worse version of the Polestar, and it has 69 MRI, which really weighs it down a little bit. The daily driver is still a good rank to put it in though. 911 Speedster 4.0 is going to be Dirk Kaiser, very strong car, 92 MRI, 100 handling when you max it out. Also light, 200 kg lighter than the Carrera 4 that we just reviewed, so it's a very strong car. Ultima Can-Am also going to be Dirk Kaiser, super lightweight car, coming in at under a ton at 920 kilograms. Very lightweight, 3.30 to 60 along with 88 handling. Then we have the Ultima Spider. I mean, once again, you would argue that it should be Dirk Kaiser because it brings the same thing to the table as the Can-Am, just a worse 0 to 60, and rightly so, lower RQ. That being said though, I will argue that I would rather have this car be at 4.5 0 to 60 and 88 handling to be at 69 RQ. Handling is key when it comes to kind of these specialist cars, and this Ultima doesn't really have MRI either. It is stronger, I would say. 86.96 is on the stronger side, but when you think about it, when I say it doesn't have any MRI, it's in relative terms, because a lot of, you know, World Expo cars nowadays are 90 plus when we're talking about good MRI. So Ultima Spider, I bring it down to about daily driver. It's still good, you know, MRA is still respectable, but really, what are you trying to be right now? You know what I mean? Lightweight car, good MRA, good short burst dragster with decent handling, but, you know, no top speed. It's still a good car though. Zenus E10S. Okay, so even lighter than the Ultima that we just talked about, handles even better, a lower 0 to 60. Now this is a value buy for sure. So 70 RQ as well, cheaper than the Can-Am. I'll put it in Dirk Kaiser. I don't think a lot of you guys would own this car already because it was given out in the Expo campaign. Now we talk about legendaries, and I gotta be honest with you, man, the Cobras are huge disappointments. I mean, yeah, I get it, they got good MRA, 100 and 100.43, but to really get value out of the Cobras, you need to max them out. And honestly speaking, freaking provider is just too nice to put it there. I'm gonna put them in pernicious ulcer. The MK GTSR, okay, fine, I'll put that in freaking provider just because it's better than the other legendaries that we just talked about. But I gotta say, man, these RQ80 Cobras are gonna be like kind of the worst of the bunch. Porsche 911 Targa GTS, 80 MRA, handles alright. 0 to 60 is weak though. When you compare, you know, just apples to apples against the 79 RQ, 4.0 to 4.1, 87 to 87. Yes, I know that the Targa has a lot more MRA by about 11. That being said though, once again, another legendary where you can only get value out of it when you max it out, and that really devalues a legendary that is below like 90 RQ, because who wants to max that, right? So yeah, bring it down, pernicious ulcer. I'm gonna be real with you. All right, Porsche 911 Targa 4S 992. This one is okay. MRA isn't good, but at least the 0 to 60 is low, and the handling is good, so it's good for those twistier hybrid situations like the hairpin and the twisty circuit. It definitely knows where it needs to operate in, and I'm gonna give it daily driver. Porsche 911 Turbo, it's the best convertible, I would say, in this niche for four-wheel drive, so I'll give it to Kaiser. And the Rezvani along with the Porsche 936, these ones are no question. I mean, the Rezvani Beast has 92 MRA and an incredibly low 0 to 60. A strange car though, because would you drag spec it with such a mediocre 0 to 60? Maybe, perhaps, because the main thing saving it is that it has a ridiculously low 0 to 60 for 84 RQ. That is like, you know, RQ 90 0 to 60 for an RQ 84 car, so respectable. And of course the Porsche 936, we talked about it in the last episode, for what can you get in a final, and that thing is ridiculous, right? I mean, 100 MRA, 700 kilograms, 92 handling. It's a fantastic car. But now let's move on to the next tier list, where I talk about how useful the cars are going to be in the finals alone. Here we go, GT500 finals. Now, the top 5, in my opinion, are going to be the ones that you see over here, mainly because the Porsche 911 Turbo is going to be your best four-wheel drive in the wet conditions. The 936 is going to be best for the longer drags, the Rezvani for the shorter drags, the Ultima Can-Am for all the twisty stuff, and the Lotus Elise 111R is just there for the ride because the RQ limit for the final is RQ400. So, if I had to make the best top 5 hand without any duplicates, this would be the one. Obviously, below that are also going to be prize car winnings, because although these cars, these 5 cars are below a rank, it doesn't mean that they have any lower chances of winning the prize car. I think that they're going to win you the prize car easily. The Zenus E10 is fantastic bargain for your buck. The Porsche 911 is the next best thing to use if you don't have the legendary RQ92. So mix and match, you know what I mean? But really, these top 10 cars, if you have these top 10 cars, there really shouldn't be an issue, to be completely honest. 911 Targa, like I said, you know, it knows what it wants to be with that low 0 to 60, and the Zenus is going to be a Zenus E10 killer. The Zenus E10S is going to be a Zenus E10 killer, and that makes sense because they're both very light and they both operate in the same places. One is just a little bit more expensive to use, that's why it's going to be a little bit better. Possible prize car winning is going to be, of course, the Audi S5 Cabriolet. If you are incredibly lucky and all you get is the City Streets track set, why the hell is it there? Then congratulations, you're going to have an easy win condition of the Audi. Lotus Elise SC is a decent replacement if you do not have the E10s, but you should at least have one of them because it was given out in the campaign expo. Then the Cobras as well. Once again, they're really only in the third tier rank because, you know, if you can max them out, perhaps you can get some value. And yes, it is going to be better than the Maybach. It is going to be better than the Ultima Spider. Almost no chance kind of speaks for itself. And Go See a Plastic Surgeon is the no-nose car because it needs a freaking grill. Honestly speaking though, I would probably bring a couple cars down, like from almost no chance. I might bring some of them down to this, you know, quote-unquote hot garbage tier, but for the meme, I'm just gonna put the Bristol there just for the ride. But anyway guys, that's gonna be it. Oh, also, maybe that's not gonna be it. I'll show you one more thing. For those people that like to see times, this is, you know, everything. So you're gonna use the 911 for the wet stuff. You're gonna use the 936 for the longer drags, like the 30 to 130 and the 0 to 150. Rezvani Beast for the shorter drags, like the quarter mile and the 0 to 100. And then obviously the Ultima Can-Am is gonna be the car that you want to safely use for the twisty conditions, like the hairpin, the karting, the G-force, the Monaco G-force, the slalom rolling, etc, etc. Good to know though that the 911 Speedster is going to be the best car for the car park, so it is going to provide some value over there. And obviously the best car for the City Street Small is going to be the freaking Audi S5. But I mean, everyone knew that already. But anyway guys, that's going to be it for today. I hope you found this video helpful. I wish you the best in the final. And honestly for me, oh, and one thing I need to note, the Rezvani Beast Alpha X, this is not listed as a convertible World Expo car on Top Drives Club. That's why I forgot to put it in the video. I understand that this is a car that you can use. If I were to rank this, I would rank it A in Der Kaiser. Both the Rezvanis would be Der Kaiser for the general sense. Actually no, the blue Rezvani Der Kaiser for general sense. Rezvani Beast Alpha will be the second rank, and then in terms of the final, then both of these cars are going to be in the second highest rank as well as in prize car winning, but not in the top 5. But anyway guys, that's going to be it for today. I hope you guys have a great day. We're going to stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac.